She's not taking a stand. She's a clickbait cockroach. She's a clickbait cockroach. Hello, I'm Steve Wilhite, Senior Vice President of Affiliate Relations at Daystar Television Network. Some of the things being said just blow my mind because they're not true. For example, I was actually the direct report for Jonathan Lamb during his performance improvement plan. Leading up to Jonathan's termination, I can tell you that he was not putting any effort into keeping his job. He didn't manage the 3 departments he was over. He'd come in late, leave early, take 2 or 3 hour lunches, then go play golf at the end of the week. He wasn't fulfilling his responsibilities. I reported his hours to HR every week, and I was astonished that while his mother was trying to salvage his role here, he wasn't even showing up. I talked to the departments he managed, and they told me he's checked out.
Does this man not understand what Jonathan was going through during this performance review? That Jonathan's whole world was upside down. And what's really ironic in the family dynamic, I know you all have been watching a bit, but you got this other daughter, her name's Rachel. And man, she is the queen of nasty online. She's the queen of nasty as reported by people behind the scenes. Jonathan's always reported as the nice guy. But this guy, Rachel's in. The rest of the family, they're all in. Okay, Pete's got a job at Daystar. Jonathan's out. Is something very, very wrong. And this guy sits here. Yeah, I was watching his hours and he was playing golf. That's the least of your problems. That is the least of your problems in this organization. Jonathan might have needed a mental health break. Now, I did ask Susie, and Susie said he had to take his daughter to special, counseling sessions. A lot was going on that maybe there should have been a little bit of empathy for. Not to mention, Marcus said on his deathbed 2 days before he died that Jonathan was to be the one. Marcus has not even barely been dead 2 years. And this guy wants to talk about how he took long lunches. He might have had something to do, and maybe it was none of your business since he's the heir to the place. Can he not have a long lunch? I've had bosses take long lunches all the time. This guy, we got to come on the whole world to talk about the long lunches Jonathan has had, and when it's the least of the problems.
I think the issue too with performance reviews is that you can make them say whatever you want to make them say. And you can use policies and procedures within organizations to either make someone look very glowing or to try to dismiss someone. And as soon as I heard that they had put Jonathan under a performance review, I thought, wow, this is a really big problem because they're wanting to have a procedure to be able to get rid of him.
So when I hear talk about Jonathan running Daystar, that's one of the scariest things I can imagine for employees here.
Let me tell you what's scary. What's scary is who's running Daystar right now.
Now I want to address some of the lies that have been circulating online. Let me start with one that really bugs me. Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson. In the past 2 weeks, she has made multiple false claims. But why would she be doing this? Well, first of all, she's been misleading people to believe that she took some sort of strong moral stand of coming off of Daystar's international network, when that is not true.
I haven't misled people to believe that I've taken some sort of moral stand. I have taken a moral stand. I have misled no one about that. I have not lied about that. I have been clear from the first video that I made that I could not believe that they were covering the essay of a child and that Joni Lamb was in front of people talking about a performance review and not speaking to the issue of her child, who...
She was part of our local network in Canada for 26 days. Just 26 days.
He's saying this as if it's no big deal or as if somehow I misrepresented that. I never did. I just told them I was leaving Daystar. By the way, we moved 4 hours, JT and I, to get the right place to set up for Daystar. We invested dollars in equipment. We did all kinds of things. We had to, a huge learning curve to get closed captioning done, to get our shows down to 28:30, to have like all kinds of stuff done on a really tight budget. And 26 days or not, we had invested heavily in this.
What the public doesn't know is that laura-lynn admitted to knowing about Jonathan and Susie's plan to go public with the smear campaign and appears to have coordinated her own publicity stunt, announcing that she was coming off Daystar to position herself as a voice of integrity and capitalize on controversy.
This is a bold-faced lie. When have I ever admitted that I knew that Jonathan and Susie were going to do a smear campaign and I was going to join them? And so then I timed my time at Daystar to do that. That's a bold-faced lie. I don't even know what he's talking about. It's a lie.
It's
from the pit of hell.
It's actually shocking. And I even remember when Jonathan and Susie came out with the sexual abuse issue, and when they came out with their with the first Roy's report video, and we talked, and you were asking,
we were shocked.
Right? We were shocked. We knew that something had gone on, and why was Jonathan and Susie not around? And I think I've been
in
sharing
hiding and afraid for their lives. You know, like what was happening?
Yes, and so, but we decided, and you were the one who said, "Look, let's wait and see." And I also agree. Let's wait and see what Daystar's response is. Let's wait and see what Joni and how she responds.
Yes.
Because here was the time for Joni to provide the olive branch. Here was the time for her to take the responsibility, for her to repent, for there to be restoration and reconciliation, right? Like we were hoping for that. And actually, I must say in my heart of hearts, I still hope for that. I still hope for that for this family.
Laura-lynn was aggressively losing subscribers.
I'm aggressively losing subscribers. Now, for any of you who can really see this, you got to go real tight into this graph that they've made. But my subscribers in September, from September 24th, 2024 to October 22nd, so 1 month, it appears I lost 100 and maybe 100 subscribers. 100. That's the aggressive loss, 100. And I mean, I do know I was defending Israel at that time, and people were writing me very upset about it because they were not supportive of Israel because of Gaza and all of that. And I was coming out strong, for the support of Israel, and they have a right to be a nation, and that's their people and stuff like that. So I did lose a few, but that's not really an aggressive loss. It's about 100 people, guys. Yeah, I'm just wondering, maybe he should be talking about the aggressive viewership declining and subscribers declining for them. They have to turn off comments on all of their videos. I don't turn them off. This is a really strange way to put this graphic up. An aggressive loss of 100 people. My IT guy pointed out, he goes, well, you lost like 100 people. Okay.
Right.
Well,
anyways.
The interesting thing about statistics is that you can make them sound however you want to, and you can make a graph look very dramatic, right? Like that looks like, oh my gosh, when really it's only 100.
Look at that
right?
decline. Look at that sharp decline. Oh.
It came to light last week that in October, her YouTube channel had 5,000 total views and earned nothing, $0.
Isn't that just so exciting? I had no idea that I was getting so many views. So I'm glad that they're doing the analytics on this. So let's talk about YouTube for a minute and why I had no views. In the last 4 years, everyone, I've been talking about things that are not acceptable on this platform. I've been talking about woke culture. I've been talking about medical stuff. It has not been allowed on YouTube. So I did not talk about it. I lost my whole channel actually when, like, 3 years ago. I lost the whole channel, and then we had a new young lady come and do some admin for us, and she's just a genius, so she still helps us, so part-time. And she asked for our channel back, and we got our channel back. So the reason that I've never made any money on YouTube, it's not because we're not working our butts off the other side, and we're on Rumble, we're on 8 different platforms, but YouTube wasn't one of them because they don't accept our content, sir. Just like they don't accept a lot of what you guys did during this last little bit. There's certain things you can't put on YouTube. So I never compromised the truth of what I felt God was asking me to speak about in the last 4 years in order to be on YouTube. I knew we could probably, get our views up, but we didn't. JT and I have been here to tell the truth. and not to make money. It's never been about money. It's been about speaking the truth. And therefore, I didn't change my content. I talked about what I thought people needed to know in order to save their lives. And I'm proud of that.
But after she started using Daystar and Joni Lamb's name, her YouTube jumped to 2.7 million views in the past 4 weeks and made an estimated $13,400.
It's only 1/10 of Joni's honeymoon. This guy's on from Daystar Executive talking about how I've made this in what, in a month, 6 weeks. I don't know. This is 1/10 of Joni's honeymoon, everyone. And this guy making a huge salary, I'm guessing, maybe even more after he's, taken the fall for this and being put up to it by their new PR guy.
I just want to ask a question too, like, how does he know how much you've made? And like, so obviously they have some experience in how much YouTube, like I would have no idea how much you would make on YouTube. So
it won't quite pay off the debt that I've incurred in this last few months in being on Daystar. It won't quite pay it off, but it'll really help, because our expenses are great as a little ma and pa shop. So that's wonderful. But he says that I don't know what it is right now. I honestly have no idea. But if it's $13,000, like that's gonna come in really handy to help us to do what we do, tell the truth, serve the community, speak out, and cover our expenses. It's expensive doing all of this. This is our work. We're called to this. And the Christian organization that had me hired to do television let me go when I started fighting woke culture. I don't blame them. God wanted them to let me go. I had to be free to be able to speak. I'm not complaining actually about any of that.
She's not taking a stand. She's a clickbait cockroach. Clickbait cockroach. A clickbait cockroach.
And so now he's calling me names. A clickbait cockroach. We've come up with a funny meme, but that is about the craziest thing I've ever. Can you imagine the Billy Graham organization going out and talking to and calling someone a cockroach?
Wow.
It's just not.
Yeah. This is past insanity. The cover up is so huge, they are getting covered up in the cover up.
Yeah.
He is the one right now that's creating a smear campaign with the permission of the president of Daystar.
Exactly.
It appears that she's chosen to amplify this controversy as an opportunity to revitalize her struggling YouTube channel. The truth is, she's using Jonathan and Susie, and they don't even know it.
So I'm using Jonathan and Susie. Here's the truth, sir. With all due respect, you are mistreating and abusing Jonathan and Susie. I am not using them. I am defending them. You have abused this young couple, and I'm not here using them. You're abusing them.
She never knew Marcus, but I did. She doesn't know Joni. I do.
I did know Marcus. I knew him at the interview, and he was very kind. And I know a lot about Marcus because of what we've just entered into. And we all know a lot more about Marcus and Joni and their antics at times. That has been, unfortunately, a sadness. Well, I do know Joni. I did have a call from her. I've had several encounters with her, several TV things that have happened. I do know her, and I've actually seen a couple different sides that maybe most people would never see. I don't know.
I worked with Marcus Lamb for decades, and there was no more integrous man I've ever met.
This man is saying there's no more integrous man than Marcus Lamb. I am not going to say much more, but I will tell you, in my life, the way I see it, there's not many that have the integrity of Jonathan Lamb.
That's
and
true.
how he came out of this family, God only knows for this hour.
Yeah.
When he went to be with the Lord, he left clear instructions for Joni Lamb to lead Daystar. All the allegations about him covering up sin are false. I've been working closely with her for the last 3 years, and I can tell you she's doing an amazing job. Laura-Lynn doesn't know Joni Lamb, but I do, and I can vouch for her character and her integrity.
So he left clear instructions for Joni Lamb to be the president. on his deathbed, he left very clear instructions with Miss Denise Boggs, and she's going to be sharing them. And Jonathan was part of those very clear instructions, and you have now fired him out of your organization. You have fired his son, the son of his soul, the heart of Marcus. You have fired him because he wouldn't read a letter about your new marriage. I mean, the irony is just beyond. About how, you know, Joni has been doing such a great job. Okay. You have broadcasters leaving. You have tons of people cannot even stand. Like when we play Doug Weiss videos now, they're like, please, please, we can't stand to hear his voice. There's no respect for this marriage in large part. And we have it, you know, we've heard it's that, you know, the money's being affected. So I can't see that she's doing a great job. None of this has been good. Joni has brought disrepute. And can I also just say from a mother's heart, I have so many letters from moms. And Cheryl, I know you're a mom. We would never treat our sons this way. We might have disagreements with our children. We might not, you know, walk together in the exact same way, but to have a young man who is standing for God's word and his principles and literally begging his mom as a watchman on the wall, like his father, to please not make an error that's going to be the worst mistake of your life. Begging her to reconsider, begging her to slow down, begging her for help to see that there's a big problem because of the essay of his daughter. And she's had none of it. Like I as a mom, I've been so brokenhearted for Jonathan. I look at this kid and I think, like, this is a great kid. What are you doing? This is a very nice man. You've raised a good son. And I think she would like to acknowledge that, but she thinks he's hell's bells. She thinks he's hell bent on destruction. And when in fact, actually she is. This is the irony. This is the elephant in the room of what Joni is doing to Daystar. This man is defending a woman. Daystar has never been in such a bad place as right now. It's in such a bad place. You got to come out and call out a small time podcaster and call them a cockroach in front of the whole world because you're so threatened by someone speaking the truth of what's going on. This is not being run well. And Jonathan would have had this place in shipshape, doing the right things righteously. And in the future, he is the rightful leader of Daystar. And I dare to say, and I will go on record as saying this, he's actually the only way that you all recover is Jonathan and the board, which I think illegally and illegitimately removed him from being at Daystar. You removed him as a board member. It was illegitimate. You guys used all kinds of conniving, manipulative, blackmail, you know, even bribery. You were abusive to him. It's all on the things. Some pastors won't even talk to you all, and you know that. They won't have nothing to do with you. They're not going to be on your shows anymore. They're not coming to Daystar. They think that you've all been run amok with how you were speaking on that tape recording. And Jonathan is the one every single time that was standing up for righteousness. Let's do the right thing. No, we don't want to read, you know, mom's celebratory email. Oh, that had to be the biggest deal that has actually knocked this whole thing into an epic failure. And then tracking and tracing him, having his hours monitored like a baby. Like, wow, you have such a godly man that has been raised for an hour in Marcus wishes to be the next leader, and you just have mistreated him. God help you all. I don't know what's wrong with you.